What's happened? What you did?
So this is something I almost can't even believe I'm gonna do.
You made that cord come apart.
I'm going to take apart this little bench so that I can put the air conditioner in here and then rebuild everything around it. It's always kind of hard to destroy some of your hard work, but let's make some mistakes. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we're normally working on a renovation on this 1956 Calcraft, but we're going to leave this covered up for a little while, and we're going to do some more work on our previous renovation, our 1968 Playmore. After using it for a while, I'm not quite satisfied with the rear bed area, and I would like to redo that to make it a little more usable and add some additional features to the camper to make it more of a year-round camper. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to try and put one of these whatever. We're going to try and put a household air conditioner into a vintage camper. And there's a number of reasons why that's a stupid idea. But I'm going to try and make it work because if nothing else, I enjoy an engineering challenge. So Simon and I already took measurements of the air conditioner that we got, and we know that it will fit in the spot that we're thinking. We're actually going to mount this under the bed in the back, and I'm going to rebuild that whole area to be, instead of, I believe they call it a gaucho style bed where you pull it out and it turns into a bed. It's just going to be a fixed bed, because what I've learned is that we never use the bed in couch mode. It's just another thing to bother with, and I think overall the design could be better with it just being a fixed bed. But for the air conditioner to be under the bed, it's going to require some ducting. So we have a duct for air coming in and a duct for air going out. A lot of people that I've seen on the Gaucho forum, they just duct that exhaust straight under the camper. Well, all that heat that you just shot out the bottom is coming back up, and if you're ducting for your fresh air for that is coming from the bottom, you're just pulling that hot air back up into it and reducing the efficiency of your air conditioner. So what we want is to exhaust the exhaust outside, and we want to draw an intake from underneath the camper. I'm not entirely certain how I'm going to do that yet, but I'm going to take the shroud off of this air conditioner and take a closer look at it. Okay, so the reason for taking this shroud off of here is because I need to see how I can get air to it to cool the evaporator coil. So normally these vents on the sides, which this much of it would be sticking out of your window at your house, this is drawing in the cooler outside air, which is not cool, but cooler, and blowing it over the evaporator coil on the back. So air comes in here, blows out here, and goes away. So I've got to figure out a way to duct air from outside into here, and then a way to duct air from this side of it out of the camper. So that's what we're trying to figure out. We're going to take this off, we're going to look at how this goes, and make a few decisions. There we go. Well, oh, okay. All right. That works. So a quick word about how these air conditioners work. This here is your evaporator coil. So your air conditioner is drawing air in over this. There's a fan inside here that is your sort of blower fan. So it draws air through this, cools it off, blows it back out here. All of this is from your room. So back here is where it draws in air from outside, spins this fan, and blows it out the evaporator coil. So it's this coil up here is cold, cools your air, goes back in the room. This one back here, then it runs that coolant back to here. This gets hot, it blows air over it, cools this off, circulates that coolant back into this one. So there's not really much else to it. They're pretty simple. Now, the other thing that is kind of a problem with putting these internally in your camper is, of course, it will collect a certain amount of condensate down here. Water, basically. Now, these are designed so that that condensate gets picked up and splashed back onto the coil and evaporates, and also helps cool this down. But if it's really humid, there is a possibility for water to collect there and overflow this and get into your camper. Now, that actually looks like it would have to be quite a bit of water. They do put a little plug down here. If you want, you can pull that and drain it out of your camper, but they say that that will reduce the efficiency a little bit. So we'll come up with a solution for that, potentially. But anyway, it looks like as long as I'm getting a lot of sufficient amount of air to this part, I think I'll be okay. And this is a pretty big fan, so it should draw pretty well. Okay, well, I'm going to put it back together now that I've actually taken a look at it. Okay, so it is hot out here, so I don't plan to be out here for very long, but this is the area that I'm thinking about putting that air conditioner. So the way it would have to duct out of here is there would need to be a duct on this side that kind of goes up and around and then down and out the floor. And that would allow it to draw in cool air from underneath the camper, which I think is ideal. And then the hot exit, and then the hot exhaust gas is going to go out the back. And I think I would make the duct for that just turn and go out the side of the camper. I think that's the easiest way to do that. The trick is doing it. So I went to Harbor Freight and I bought a little bending brake and a rivet gun, and I thought I'd make my own sheet metal ductwork out of roof flashing. The initial test that I made seemed to work out really well, and I thought this was going to be the way to go on this. It took a little bit of experimenting and learning how to use the brake most effectively, but I was making progress. However, this was going to take a lot longer because this was something that I wasn't super comfortable doing and didn't have a lot of experience with. So I slept on it, and the next day I came up with the decision to instead move on with what I did know, which is woodworking. Okay, so I did some thinking on this last night, and I was pretty happy with how my little ductwork was coming out, but it's going to be a lot more involved and a lot more time consuming to do it that way. And it might still be the best way to do this, but it'd be much quicker if I just built this intake out of wood and saved the ductwork for the exhaust. The part of the reason why you would want to use ductwork as opposed to a wooden thing is the potential for condensate there. The wooden shroud is not going to be cold enough to cause condensation on it when I would be running the air conditioner because it's under the bed and it's kind of enclosed. One thing I do worry about is condensation forming inside of here, which obviously it's designed for that to happen. So there will be some moisture in there. I don't know. And as I said at the beginning, this is a stupid project. And so I need to make some stupid decisions here, or else this is, not going to turn out to be a disaster that anybody wants to watch. Let's make some mistakes. Guess I didn't bring my notes. There we go. That's got it. Just gonna do that one more time. Okay, so this is something I almost can't even believe I'm going to do, but I'm going to take apart this little bench part that covers the wheel well over there, and take apart a bunch of this framing back here for the bed so that I can put the air conditioner in here and then rebuild everything around it. It's always kind of hard to destroy some of your hard work. What?
Of this candle. What's happened? What you did?
What do you mean, what did I do?
Yeah, you tried to hold it. Over like that. You made that cord come apart.
So I think that's actually going to do it for this video. It seems like a logical sort of stopping place for this. So this is going to be part 1, and in part 2 we'll start rebuilding the bed structure and permanently mounting this thing in here and getting the ducts and stuff cut and all that installed. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Oh God, no, too old for this.